What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. I am Uncle Frank, and this is Team Beer Guts, and this is the beer advent calendar for 2023. Hopefully, this looks a little bit different. Working on the new camera angles, also working on some different microphones. I picked up some new microphones, and we're figuring out how to use those to get a better sound quality for what we want to do. Anyway, it is step by step by step. Is that important? Yes. But what's important is the beer quality. So let's talk about today's beer, day number 6. If you haven't had the opportunity to, please, please, please like, subscribe, share, tell all your friends about what we're doing. We talk about beer. We also talk about cycling. I am not talking about cycling right now as I'm injured and now it's the winter and it's off season, but we will doing some beer and cycling and how they mold together. But I want to build this beer community. And if you are a beer drinker that loves bike riding, especially gravel, yeah, this is the place for you. So stay tuned for what we have to talk about. Now, what do we have going on today? Local brewery here to New Hampshire. Loaded Question. Loaded Question is a little brewery. It's a nano, still technically a nano brewery, only doing about 3 barrels per batch. Founded, I want to say it was about 5 years ago, might be 6. I want to say it's 5. So they're 5 years old, although I don't remember like a blowout 5-year anniversary party. Um, or maybe it was really good and that's why I don't remember it. Just joking. Anyway, about 5 years ago, really great guys. It's small community built tap room. That vibe that when you go in there is super cool to just kind of hang out with, and I really enjoy going there for a pint. They can as well, so you can get beer to go. And one of my favorites, and one of their favorites, honestly, I've heard this from them, from their owners, from their brewer, is the Tartan. And this is a porter, a straight out porter. We're not doing anything crazy with high alcohol. We're not going to barrel age it. We're not doing vanilla and toast and whatever else. It's porter, exactly as a porter should be, which I love. Now, they might do some variants of this, but this, the Tartan, is what a porter should be. I think it even says that on the can. So this is a 6% beer, little high for, say, an English porter, but it's done in that style. The unique thing on this, I said they did no twist, but they do. This is actually made with a Scottish ale yeast. And not different than a Scotch ale yeast, which is going to add some smokiness to it. This should not, or at least I don't believe, will have any smokiness to it. And you can see by that color, it is super, super dark. Yes. Union Station Brewery. Yeah, we're going old school glass, which I don't know if I can actually get it beer clean. I pulled out another glass. I shamed myself yesterday about the whole beer clean glass thing, and I pulled this out. But it's such a cool glass. I mean, Union Station Brewery's been around forever, and I have this glass. So, uh, real quick, brewed with the Scottish ale yeast, the tartness, everything a porter should be. 1 pint, 6%. Let's check out the Tartan. Now, here's where I always tell people don't be afraid of the dark. Dark beers are not always bigger, stronger, crazier. Dark beers can be mild and mellow and flavors that you expect. Like when you get your coffee, some people are afraid of dark coffee, but those of you who aren't and drink your coffee black, there you go. Black coffee versus a coffee with a bunch of cream and sugar, no different in your coffee content. The other thing I always tell people is uh, Coca Cola versus Mountain Dew. Which one's darker? Which one's stronger? Coca Cola is obviously darker, but Mountain Dew, more calories, more caffeine, more sugar, more. But it's the lighter of them. Don't be afraid of the dark. So experience the dark flavors. Go for them. So in this, easy camera, easy. That is everything a porter should be, just as it says. So what exactly is a porter? Here is where your beer history comes in, because some people are like, I don't know what that is. And that's why porter, unfortunately, is not a great selling style out there, because a lot of people don't know what it is. Even though it's a great tasting beer, they know what a stout is. Uh, and then dark, maybe like dark lager, because those are starting to come back, but they don't know what a porter is. And when I was in my brewing journey early on, there's three dark malts, and there was like black malt, which no one really uses anymore, chocolate malt, and roasted malt. And it was two of the three of those of where you would get your brown ale versus your porter versus your stout. Now, history says the porter was actually a blend of darker beers for the porters, the workers who used to be able to move furniture, not move furniture, but move equipment, tend to the horses, everything else. And this was a workers' beer. So they would come in afterwards and they would get the three threads, which was the three of those mixed together, which gave you your porter. The accuracy of this history lesson is still up for debate. I will tell you there was definitely porter, and then there were porters that were being made, usually with dark malts, brown malt, chocolate malt, and a good base malt, sometimes a little bit of smoked malt. There are some people that believe that the porter was the precursor to black IPA. If you think about what they were doing in England, they were shipping pale ale to England, out of England, and over hopping it so that it would last the journey. So you got India pale ale. They weren't just drinking pale ale, over hopped pale ale as India pale ale or IPA, as it's known now. They're probably drinking porter. So an over hopped porter, India porter, and that's, some people say, is the black IPA. Then the style goes away. Then they revise it in New England, and I will go into that at another time. And that gives you black IPA. But to go back to what your porter is, porter should be balanced. There is going to be some hops that's not sweet. There's the hops aren't way down here, so you have a sweetness. It's here, balanced. Maybe you an American porter, maybe a little bit up here, and you'll get some of those floral, a touch of citrus. This is right balanced here. It says it's done with a Scottish yeast. I'm going to put this into not American porter, English porter, super balanced. There is a little bit of dry cocoa to this beer. Sweet malt, but not cloyingly sweet. Cloying meaning it's going to stick to the back of your throat, and you don't really want to have any anymore. A little bit of roast, like a good coffee that's not overly roasted, being overly bitter. So it's not bitter whatsoever at all. Just a super balanced, easy drinking beer. As this beer warms, it's actually going to taste just as good, if not better. Nobody likes warm beer. Hey, welcome to everybody who likes cask. I'm being one of them. This would be amazing on cask. We're not gonna go off the rails here. I want to try and stay to style. So again, loaded question. Portsmouth, about 5 years old. Porter itself is one of those styles, an old school style that is really looking to balance your darker malts with some hops so that it's easily drinkable. And this particular beer, very big on the drinkability, the coffee and chocolate notes to it. But again, not sweet chocolate. Uh, Sweetness in the end, and then just goes away. It's almost too drinkable because it doesn't stay with the hops and the bittering or the malt to the sweetness. You're like, oh, where'd it go? I'm just gonna have another one. Yes. And then you drink it too fast. I don't know. I like this beer a bunch. What would I pair it with food wise? Food wise, porter. Porter can go with a lot of things. Porter could go with dessert. It could go with a chocolate pudding. Um, but I really want to have a hefty beer like this with a hefty meal outside on the campfire. Let's go with some chicken breasts on the grill that has that nice char to it, a char chicken breast, charred vegetables. So you could do potatoes, red russet potatoes, wrap them in foil, butter, salt, pepper, throw it on the grill. And then you have this on the side. So you have this beer, that's your side with some chicken on the grill or any grilled, really. Uh, Food, I think, is going to complement this. You're not going to have a cut or contrast, but I feel like both will complement each other. anything with a roasted kind of flavor to it off the grill in this beer with a little bit of roast and a little bit of sweetness to it. So that is the Tartan. It is a porter. I suggest that you get some on draft if you're in the local area. If you're not in the local area, have somebody grab you some cans. This is a great beer from Loaded Question. Until then, as always, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Ride bikes. Drink good beer. Uncle Frank is out. Cheers.